That can I ask you something serious? I've been thinking a lot these days. Son, you look worried. Of course, you can ask me anything. Tell me. Sometimes, when I'm alone in my room at the university, especially at night, I start thinking about life, about everything we do, about studying, working, trying so hard. And then I ask myself, what is the meaning of life? If one day we are all going to die anyway, I don't want to sound dramatic, but sometimes it feels pointless. Why build something if it will disappear? I'm really glad you are asking me this instead of keeping it inside. And first, let me tell you something important. You are not strange for thinking like that. I went through the same thoughts when I was about your age. Really? Did you also think the same way I do now? Yes, I remember lying in my bed after work, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, is this all? Work, pay bills, get old, and die? Those thoughts can feel heavy, but they also mean you are growing. You are not just living automatically, you are questioning life. And that is something mature people do. But did you find an answer? Because I feel lost. At the university, everyone talks about success, money, career, traveling, building a future. But if life ends, what is the point? Sometimes I feel like we are just distracting ourselves so we don't think about death. That's a very honest thought. And yes, sometimes people do distract themselves. But listen carefully. The fact that life ends does not make it meaningless. In fact, for me, it gives life more meaning. Imagine if life was infinite, if you had unlimited time. Could anything feel urgent? Could love feel precious? Could moments matter? The reason a sunset is beautiful is because it doesn't last forever. The reason childhood is special is because it ends. The limit gives value. So you're saying that death gives meaning to life? That sounds strange. It sounded strange to me, too, when I was young. But think about this. When your grandmother was alive, I knew one day she would leave this world. That made every visit more important. Every conversation mattered. If I believed she would live forever, maybe I would not have listened so carefully to her stories. The limit of time forces us to love deeper. But still, sometimes I feel scared, not just of dying, but of living a life that doesn't matter. What if I study, work, try hard, and in the end, nothing I did really changes anything? Let me tell you something I learned. Most people think the meaning of life is something big and dramatic, like changing the world or becoming famous. But for many of us, meaning is much simpler. Meaning is in relationships, meaning is in small daily acts. When I worked long hours to pay for your school, that might not change the world, but it changed your world, and that was enough for me. I always thought meaning had to be something huge, something history remembers. History forgets most people, but that does not mean their lives were empty. I don't remember the names of my great grandparents, but they worked, they loved, struggled, and because of them, I exist. And because of me, you exist. Life is like a chain. You may not be remembered by millions, but you influence the people around you, in ways you will never fully see. Sometimes at the university, I see people who seem so confident about their future. They talk about their careers like everything is clear, but I feel confused. I don't even know if the career I'm studying will make me happy. When I was your age, I changed my mind 3 times about what I wanted to do. I thought I had to know everything at 20, but life is not like that. Meaning is not discovered in one moment, it is built slowly, sometimes through mistakes and pain. I didn't wake up one day and say, I know the meaning of life. I understood it little by little through experience. So, what is it for you now? After all these years, after working, after raising me, after everything you have lived, what is the meaning of life for you? For me, meaning is connection. It is loving and being loved. It is doing your best with what you have. It is accepting that you are imperfect. but still trying. It is sitting here with you, having this conversation. It is seeing you grow into someone who asks deep questions. That gives my life meaning. But what about suffering? There is so much pain in the world. People lose loved ones, people get sick, wars happen. If life has meaning, why is there so much suffering? That is a hard question, and I don't have a perfect answer. I am not an expert. I am just a man who has lived some years. But I can tell you this: suffering changes people. Sometimes it breaks them, sometimes it makes them deeper. When I lost my job years ago, I felt useless. I questioned everything. But that period taught me humility and patience. It made me appreciate small things. Without that pain, I could not be the same father today. Okay, but do you ever still think about death? Yes, more now than before, actually. When you are young, death feels far away. When you get older, you feel time moving faster. But instead of making me desperate, it reminds me to slow down, to enjoy dinner with family, to laugh more, to forgive faster. I don't want to waste my limited time on anger and pride. So maybe the meaning of life is not a single answer, but something personal? Exactly. For some people, meaning is family. For others, art. For others, helping. For others, faith. You don't find meaning like you find a lost object. You build it through your choices, through what you decide is important. I think I needed to hear that do you regret anything? Yes, I regret worrying too much about things I could not control. I regret moments when I chose pride over kindness. But I don't regret loving deeply. Even when love brings pain, it is still worth it. Believe me. So, if you had to say one sentence about the meaning of life, what could it be? I could say the meaning of life is to live it fully, love sincerely, grow through pain, and leave the world a little warmer than you found it. Even if only for a few people. That's what I would say. That sounds simple, but also deep. Thank you. Life is simple. We are the ones who complicate it. You don't need to solve the universe. Just live today well. Study, yes. Work, yes. Dream, yes. But also laugh. Call your mother, visit friends. Take care of your health. Those things matter more than you think. Never forget these words.